So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the PayPal link in the description box. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Also, leave us a thumbs up. It helps us get more views.
I'm glad we're skipping this break coming up because we knew it was coming. We knew they said in the next month they're going to move against Trump. With the separation of powers, a grand jury cannot go after the president. It's only Congress that can do it. But they don't want to wait because Trump is dismantling their globalist crime syndicate. Robert Mueller, the Clinton puppet, Wall Street Journal, is now reporting, this just broke minutes ago, it's on Infowars.com, Special Counsel Mueller impanels Washington, that's a picked D.C. jury, grand jury. Special Counsel Mueller impanels Washington grand jury in Russia probe. And so it begins, ladies and gentlemen, so that Trump can't even take out this guy they slipped in. They're impaneling a grand jury controlled in D.C. by Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Oh, my God. They're accelerating the timetable because they know there's criminal investigations of the Seth Rich thing. Special Counsel Robert Mueller has impaneled a grand jury in Washington to investigate Russia's interference. 2016 elections, a sign that his inquiry is growing in intensity and entered a new phase, according to people familiar. So they said, oh, it'll take years. That was to make Trump think he had that. The grand jury, which began its work in recent weeks, is a sign that Mr. Mueller's inquiry is ramping up, and it will likely continue for months. They've got a picked grand jury in the District of Criminals under Debbie Wasserman Schultz's control. Mr. Mueller is investigating Russia's efforts to influence the 2016 election and whether President Donald Trump campaign associates colluded with Kremlin as part of it. A spokesman for Mueller declined to comment. Moscow has declined seeking to influence the election. Mr. Trump has vigorously disputed it. Ty Cobb, special counsel, the president said that wasn't aware Mr. Mueller has started using a new grand jury. Grand jury matters are typically secret. Of course, they're not now. Mr. Cobb said the White House favors anything that accelerates the conclusion of this work fairly. The White House is committed to fully cooperating with Mr. Mueller. Wow, this is next level stuff. So they are getting ready right now, these traitors, these scumbags. The Mueller secretly in tarmac meetings with the Russians with uranium transfers. Roger Stone.
Alex, you're absolutely right. Mr. Mueller is the executioner, the intended executioner. Congressman Greg Jarrett pointed out this morning that because of his relationship with Comey, because he actually coached Comey, and more importantly, because Mueller himself auditioned with the president immediately after Comey's firing for Comey's job, but was passed over, he has obvious conflicts of interest.
He's a butthurt Quisling. What does Trump do to flush this guy down the toilet?
Well, here's the other stunning thing I learned last night, and that is perhaps I've been too harsh on Jeff Sessions. He is evidently a captive in his own department. I am told that the first ring of assistants there have been told not to carry out his orders and that he's been unable to get a phone call through to the president. It is obvious.
So what they do is they talk crap about Sessions. Trump stops talking to him. Then Sessions is locked up. Total intelligence op. He's got to get a council together of everybody to suss it out and move against the enemy.
Well, exactly. And if Mr. Mueller has a grand jury, it's time for Mr. Sessions to have a grand jury. They want to remove our president. Let's put their president in jail.
Here's the thing. Why don't people have political, geopolitical, military understanding? You and I have it. I always thought I was average. I get around generals, CIA people that they don't know. They're like children. Don't they understand what's going on here? Even the enemy is so addled. They're easily defeated if the president is conscious of this operation.
There's two more words that I think the president would find very, very useful at this juncture. Term limits. He wrote about them as early as 2000. He has always supported them. They strike fear in the heart of the Washington power brokers and the Republican establishment. Sure. And if he begins to beat the drum, he will get enormous political leverage from the American people.
All right, I'm going to let Anthony have the final comment here. I want to tell listeners, never before has the world, not just America, been in such a crosshair, but it's the Chinese character for opportunity is also crisis. We are in the crucible right now. Please spread this video, this live feed, Infowars.com/show. Please spread the articles, the videos, our analysis. The world's ready for it. The enemy recognizes us as dangerous because we know the truth.
A hell of a time. It's like I said, I never dreamt I would be around when we see people moving against the president. And so obviously, Alex was just saying it before, how do we see this? And how do so many other Americans actually see this? And then others are blinded to it. I sometimes think they're not as naive or just plain stupid as I would be led to believe, but that they actually don't care that this is happening. Getting rid of Donald Trump. Look, everyone can't be involved in what's going on. There is absolutely a coup in the midst of taking place right now. Not everyone's involved that is considers themselves liberal, Democrat, the left, progressive, whatever you want to call it. But they actually believe that regardless of what it takes to remove Donald Trump, that he's so evil and so detrimental to this country that it would still be a good thing regardless of how he's removed. Not realizing it spells the absolute end of America as we know it. They would rather live in a country where a power base is so strong that they could remove an elected president of these United States and it would just still be a grand, great place to live. You just go to sleep in the matrix, in the little pod, and have your steak and it's juicy, and the glass of wine, and you don't have to worry about a thing. Well, the truth of the matter is, if they are able to get away with that, what the hell type of freedoms do you think you have? The American people.
What's next? Exactly. The sky's the limit.
What's next?
Sorry.
What's next? How are they financing? We are financing them. We have to pump our hard-earned money and actually pay people to abuse us. What kind of a sick cuckolding is it that you don't get angry at that? That we shovel boatloads of cash into this system that does nothing but screw us.
And finally, a guy shows up that wants to bet on humanity and ride that wave. He'll be on top of that wave. That's a leader. And they're trying to stop him, but just the idea of it puts $4 trillion in the stock market, $400 billion in new jobs, and the economy rushes back for a minute, like gasping for air, and they're all pissed and howling because they don't like us being successful. They want to be the little grimy worms that look at us all poor down below them. They want to bring feudalism back. Well, I tell them this, and get the delay ready. Fuck you! I'm sick of your fucking bullshit. I am. Get out of my way. Get out of the way.
Bravo, Alex. Man, that really does say it all. We all have to get to that point where we say that. They don't want us to be successful because if we don't need them, if we don't need the government to help us constantly with our lives, what could they possibly hold over our heads? They want us to be cattle and sheep. And they want the economy to be lousy so they could tell you that we'll help you, we'll make it better. And they never make it better because they want to keep us down like this. So when Trump comes in, a businessman, and we're looking at record levels in the stock market, the consumer confidence is way up, jobs, small businesses, these are things that petrify the government leaders in this country because again, it's like a parent when the child goes off to college. They sit there and cry because they know, they really don't need us anymore. They're out on their own. They're living their life.
The globalists have empty nest syndrome.
Yeah. So when the government sees that happen, they blatantly, and they don't even, you know what it is? They don't have the time. Trump works so quickly that they don't have the time to do this covertly. So they've thrown the curtains open and they're telling us, yeah, we're going to remove the guy that you elected that is making America great. And there's literally nothing you can do about it. I am stunned at the turn of events that I've seen transpire.
If you're interested to learn how to create content and spread content, we'll show you how. Go to the Operation How YouTube channel, click on the About button, and then click Message. Send us an email. If you want to engage, become an info warrior, we will train you up.
If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon below the video to get notified when the latest new content drops.
Keep us in your prayers. We get a lot of resistance for putting these videos out, but to Yahweh be the glory.